sometime in 2019, 2020, I decided to undertake 2 graduate programs at the same time. I'm a second careerist, so I'm changing careers from one career to another one. So I decided to undertake these 2 careers with 3 dependent children, a family to take care of, and there were 2 programs that were very demanding and very challenging. I decided to do this because I wanted to position myself for certain opportunities in the workforce. I made financial and social sacrifices to undertake these 2 programs. You all know how our community is. A lot of people misunderstood me. They said I didn't have time for anybody, but I was going through it. When, to the glory of God, I finished these 2 programs and now set myself, to the glory of God, I finished well. I finished top of my class. And now set myself up to get those jobs that I sacrificed all these things for. Imagine graduating top of your class and having professors recommend you for all kinds of positions. Imagine people calling you a unicorn. Imagine helping your fellow students make it through school who were struggling. They made it through school. And then you graduate and the jobs are there. You're interviewing for the jobs. They're excited to have you. Many of them call you all kinds of names. Oh, you apply for a lower position. You'll do better in this higher position. And then the interviews come, they're excited, the job offers come, and then all of a sudden, everything fizzles out. It happens so many times. But the 2 that I really want to mention is one where an international organization here in America gave me an offer, right? And I took the offer, accepted the offer. Then all of a sudden, they wrote me to say they were rescinding the offer. Then I asked them why they were rescinding the offer. They asked me to write a letter to them. And the Office of Investigations got back to me to say they couldn't find my details. They couldn't find the chain of communication. That was when I knew something was wrong. Another one, I was shown my office where I was sitting, and all of a sudden, they wrote me an email to say that they had decided not to continue anymore because of restructuring. While all this was happening, I kept on having dreams where I would see myself back in school, back in a school that I already attended, like several years ago. So I kept on waiting on the fire altar, praying consistently and receiving a lot of words from the fire altar. It was not easy because I was doing it. I have to stay awake by 1 a.m. every day to pray. Now, one of the words that I received on the fire altar was on the 14th of May when Pastor Jerry said, "You will not ask for it. It will just enter your hands."
You will see 3 men. You will see 3 men going up to the temple of God. One is carrying wine. The other is carrying 3 kids. The other is carrying 3 loaves. And they will give you. You will not ask. You will not ask. Or you will not ask. When they were carrying it, they didn't know it was for you. They didn't know it was for you. On the sound of your raiment, let it be handed over.
You know how you know that a word is yours? I knew this was my word. When it was time for the Houston prayer conference, I was there. I received a lot of words also that were directed at me. Pastor Jerry said, "Keep dreaming. You keep finding yourself back in a school where you've already attended. By the power that raised Jesus from the dead, let it be broken."
Deliverance power of God. Look at anybody. If you have any dream that takes you back to your secondary school, to your primary school, to where you used to live, Rabada, Ashabada, Ayanas, let it be broken.
Then on the 22nd of August, he said that something is going to happen in the next 24 hours. And you will wonder, how did it happen? Hey! Who made it happen? And you remember that it is only the Lord.
In the next 24 hours, things are going to change so much. In the next 24 hours, you will wonder, how did it happen? Who made it happen? And you will remember, it's only the Lord. It's only the Lord. It's only the Lord.
This was on the 22nd of August. On the 23rd of August, after having applied to more than 100 positions and being disappointed, I was minding my business when somebody called me out of Houston and said, "We saw your profile online and we're very interested." To cut the long story short, they set me up to interview with the vice president of the organization, who I was supposed to report to. He interviewed me, he was impressed, and said he will set me up to interview with the CEO. While I was talking to the CEO, he said, "I'm sorry, this job is not for you." And I said, "Okay, here they come again." Another rejection. Then I asked him, "May I ask why?" Because there's nothing about this job that doesn't speak to my skill set. And he said, that's the problem. The job is far below your skill set. Forget about this job. I'm offering you something bigger, something better. Right there on the spot. Just as Pastor Jerry said it. I was dumbfounded. That was not all. He told me to write exactly what I wanted. He said, you think outside the box like me. You're going to be bored with that old job. He told me to write down what I wanted. I wrote it down. I did not negotiate with human resources. I negotiated with the CEO. He offered me, when I was praying to God, I asked him for a job that was lying down in green pastures and being led by quiet waters. That was exactly what God gave me. He offered me a director position to employ people under me and report not to the vice president, but myself and the vice president will be reporting to him. But please, permit me to say this. The testimony is not in the financial upliftment. My major testimony is in the making that happened in my waiting. I just want to tell you that I had never suffered for a job before in my life. And it's easy for me to begin to think that it is by my power. God showed me that by strength shall no man prevail. In the waiting, God humbled me. God made me more empathetic. God made me to begin to seek his face and his heart and not just his hands. That is the greatest part of the testimony. And I'm here. I give God the glory. Because what God cannot do does not exist.